Okay, shalom, shalom. I've got a short time, so just to further highlight Esau's decline, to further highlight his fall from grace, which you are seeing around the world. So before I begin, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Barakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone who rule well, where we have learned this truth. Greetings and salutations to you, brothers, on the highways and hedges, bringing this word out with all sincerity. Shalom to you, Aqua for an order, as well as you Israelites who look like these other nations. And shalom to all you sincere listeners. Shalom. So we are, like I said before, we're highlighting Esau's decline, okay? And I'm going to go into the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, okay? I started verse 1, and it says, "For the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel." So even after all the punishments, even after all what has happened to Jacob, okay, he will yet be chosen, okay, as the chosen people of the Heavenly Father. That is your blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans from predominantly the Americas, but then you also have a scattering of Israel around the world as well. What do we use? We use this word to wake up the scattered, okay? Who will get this word? Who will understand, and who will be, for want of a better word, ostracized from the path of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, because as the Lord has said, I have chosen you and you have not chosen me. You understand? So we're talking about things that have been established before the foundations of the earth. And it continues on. I'll start again. Isaiah 14 verse 1. "For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." Okay? And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Jacob shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captive, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And they shall rule over their oppressors. That is a state of true decline, okay? Now we've got things like the MOTB to still come, Jacob's trouble to reach its full fruition. We've got the thermal nuclear to go on in the valley of Yehoshaphat. So we have got some prophecies to happen. But if you look at the ball is well and truly rolling, okay? Well and truly rolling in terms of Gog and Magog, in terms of the overall spirit of things right now. There's a spirit of Esau's demise, Esau's fall from grace, and you can see it happening all over. And I'll continue. Isaiah chapter 14 and 3. "And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? the golden city ceased. How had the oppressor ceased? You know, his financial splendor, his respect through his religious institutions, and through his educational havens around the world, you know, such as Cambridge and Oxford and Yale and Harvard, you know, how, and other such institutions of learning around Europe as well. You know, from that to the pomp of his aristocracy, all right, all of that is being brought down. I've just seen the King of England, I think he has converted to Islam. I mean, I'm not too sure, but people are saying that the King of England has converted to Islam. I mean, just a rumor like that. If you went back 20 years, just a rumor like that would be unheard of. You know, now you got you know, throughout all Esau Edom's kingdom, a migrant crisis that they can't seem to get a grip of. It's run out their hand. Even if they wanted to initially use it to fill their coffers by having a justified reason to increase taxation, now it's run out of their control. You know, you have drug problems all over, problems of crime all over Esau Edom strongholds, not to mention the exposing of their wicked elites. You know, all over, the exposing of their wicked elites, the shameful spewing against them. You know, we are looking at this kingdom, Esau Edom's grip on rulership. We are looking at it disintegrating before our eyes, all right? And there will be a time when it loses it completely, and it will be restored into the hand of Jacob, and Esau will become a perpetual slave for the rest of his time on the earth. Thus said the heavenly power. You know, yeah, thou shalt, Isaiah 14 and 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and said, how has the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote, and when it says broken the staff and the scepter, it means he has taken away rulership, okay? Because a scepter is synonymous with rulership, okay? He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. Okay, his track record is so bad that when it's time his persecution comes upon him, there is nobody gonna take up a lamentation for him and say, please spare him. Nobody will do it. Okay, as it says in these scriptures. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. And that's what will happen, because the earth will be at peace. We are looking forward to that rest. It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. So there will be no destruction of the earth. You know, this is like talking, you know, alluding to deforestation and stuff like that. But even the trees, the beasts, the birds, the fish, everything will be at rest. Everything will be at peace, okay? And 9, hell from beneath is moved for thee, to meet thee, at the coming. It sitteth up, it stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It had raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like us? And even if you look now, and you don't even have to wait to the future for that, if you look now, you will see that Esau Edom has considerably reduced in stature, okay? In spirituality, in stature, in morals, in everything. And he has become base, like those that he made base with his economic nooses through third world debt and through his banking systems. Now he has become as base as them, okay? And it says, verse 11, the pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Okay, that is showing a state of decay. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? And it says, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Okay, so as he weakened, he has become weak, and that weakness is going to continue until he is exceedingly weak. Okay, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the earth. Okay, so this man wanted to be like the Heavenly Father, and probably in his mind even exceed the Heavenly Father, thinking that he was doing something with that AI and with all his other advancements, if you can call it that. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That is what he's trying to say. That is what he's trying to say now. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pits. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee. They wouldn't even recognize who you are, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? It says, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. Yeah, and because they will be at peace too. After their 1,000 years, the nations will be at peace too. The nations will rejoice at the downfall of Esau Edom. The whole earth will rejoice at his downfall, and the downfall is imminent. Matter of fact, the downfall has taken place already. Okay, Babylon the Great, which was the jewel of this earth. Babylon has been a golden cup within the Lord's hand. The glory of it, the expanse of it, the reach of it, okay, the influence it had upon the earth, the total influence it had through its magical entertainment industry and media industry. It had influence over the whole earth. It had the bounty of the earth through its banking systems, and Babylon the Great first and foremost, but there's the nations of Esau Edom have done wickedly, and they have lashed the people with a continuous stroke. People have waxed exceedingly poor under the watch of this man, okay? And the Most High has seen this. The Most High has realized this. He is bringing Esau down, and he is bringing these places down. Okay, and you are seeing it going on. They're about to lose their mind. They are losing their mind, looking for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to blame for their decline, because really and truly they don't know what's happening. They just know they're losing. And that's a serious thing to happen to someone who doesn't know what losing is anymore, who's only been winning. And after all said and done, the Most High is going to bring down Babylon the Great perpetually, with destruction, with a destruction never seen before. And the stranger will have to move out of the land of Israel, or that will be hit too, and then the righteous of those of Israel, Yasha'Allah, will build and thrive in a land of the Heavenly Father. Hope you found the lesson edifying. Shalom.